Part 1, The Letter I Was Never Meant to See. I used to believe every family had secrets. I just never expected my entire life to be one of them. The story I'm about to tell didn't start the day everything collapsed. It started long before, on birthdays, at Christmas dinners, in those small, quiet moments you don't pay attention to until it's too late. But the day I finally opened my eyes was a Wednesday. A normal, boring, nothing special Wednesday. The day I found the letter. It wasn't addressed to me. It wasn't even supposed to be in my house, but it was, tucked behind the coffee machine, slipped between old receipts and grocery lists. A single white envelope with one line written neatly across the front, for Eleanor, do not open until after Friday. The handwriting? My mother's. But here's the problem, I'm not Eleanor. Eleanor is my sister. And Friday? Friday was my birthday. At first, I didn't think much of it. Maybe it was a card. Maybe Mom mixed things up. She's done it before. But when I held the envelope, the paper felt too thick. Too heavy. Like it wasn't a birthday card at all. And that was when the curiosity started to itch. Not a normal itch, the kind you feel in your bones. I told myself I wouldn't open it. I lasted 13 minutes. Inside wasn't a card. Inside wasn't cash. Inside wasn't anything I ever expected to see. It was a property transfer agreement. A house. A piece of land. Worth over $430,000. Signed. Stamped. Locked in. Transferred to my sister. Not to me. Not to both of us. To her, and only her. And in the notes section, written in my mother's handwriting, were the 7 words that punched the air out of my lungs: she deserves it more than the other one. Me. I reread that sentence so many times the ink bled into the paper. My hands trembled. My stomach twisted. The world tilted. I felt every stage: confusion, disbelief, denial, anger, all at once. I wasn't jealous. I was betrayed. Because here's the context: I am the one who took care of our mother for 3 years while she was recovering from her surgery. I am the one who moved back home. I missed job offers, friendships, relationships, all because Mom needed help. My sister? She visited on holidays. But apparently, she deserved it more. I laughed, not the funny kind. The desperate, cracking kind that feels like it scrapes your ribs. I tried to breathe. Tried to think. Tried to make sense of it. But then I noticed something else. A second page. A second signature. My father's. The same father who told me all my life, we don't play favorites in this family. The same father who said, when I'm gone, everything will be split evenly. The same father who looked me in the eyes and said, you're my anchor. Don't ever think I love her more. But there it was. His name. His handwriting. His choice. They weren't even going to tell me. They were going to give my sister a house I grew up in, and I was going to find out at the reading of the will, blindsided and powerless. That was the plan. Until I found the letter. I didn't cry. People expect you to cry in moments like that. But I didn't. Instead, I felt a cold, surgical clarity, the kind that fills you right before your life turns into a before and after. I folded the letter back into the envelope. I put it exactly where I found it. I wiped my fingerprints off the glossy seal with my sleeve. And then I sat down in the quiet kitchen, staring at nothing, repeating the same question, why? I replayed everything from childhood, looking for the reason. Was it because she was prettier? Smarter? More fragile? More lovable? Was I not enough? Or was I simply, as the note said, the other one? Hours passed. The sun moved. The house stayed still. And then my phone buzzed. It was a message from my mother. Mom, don't forget dinner Friday at 7. We have a surprise for you. Love you. A surprise. I nearly threw the phone across the room. That night, something inside me shifted. I didn't break. I didn't scream. I didn't confront anyone. I became quiet. Dangerously quiet. Because when a person who always held the family together finally realizes the family was never holding them back, but holding them down, something inside them changes. Permanently. I decided I wouldn't ruin their little plan. I wouldn't shout. I wouldn't beg. I would show up Friday. I would sit there. I would smile, and I would let them reveal the betrayal they thought I didn't know about. I wanted to see their faces. I wanted to hear their excuses. I wanted to watch the performance. Because there is nothing more powerful than a person who is wounded, silent, and absolutely done, and I was done. Very done. Friday came slowly, like a storm you know is coming but can't stop. I spent the morning cleaning. The afternoon pretending everything was fine. By 6, I was dressed, composed, and hollow. When I arrived at my parents' house, my sister's car was already in the driveway, parked in Dad's space, as always. Typical. Inside, voices drifted from the dining room. Laughter. Glasses clinking. Soft conversation. They sounded happy. My mother hugged me. My father kissed my forehead. My sister smiled, that polished, perfect smile she always used when she wanted people to think she was innocent. And as I sat down at the table, across from the 3 people who had decided my worth for me, I felt nothing. Not resentment. Not hatred. Just the finality of truth. Dinner began. Wine poured. Small talk flowed. And then, halfway through dessert, my mother cleared her throat. "Sweetheart," she said softly, "your father and I have a special announcement tonight. Something for your future." My sister's eyes flickered, nervous excitement. My father placed his hand over hers. My mother reached into her purse and pulled out an envelope. A white envelope. The same envelope I had found 3 days earlier. Only this time, I wasn't shaking. This time, I was ready. "Happy birthday," Mom said, voice trembling with emotion. "We've decided to." But before she could finish, I smiled. A slow, calm, terrifying smile. "I know," I said quietly. 3 faces froze. What do you mean?" my sister whispered. I leaned back, folded my hands, and said, "I know exactly what's in that envelope. And I know exactly what you plan to do." The room went dead silent. And that was how the night truly began. After that night, Arsen couldn't sleep. The city seemed frozen in place, but something inside it had begun to move, slow, subtle, like footsteps behind him that always stayed just out of sight. By morning, he walked onto the main avenue, once loud, bright, overflowing with life. Now it was buried in absolute silence. Cars stalled in the middle of the road. Shopping bags scattered across the pavement. A broken umbrella someone had clearly thrown in a moment of panic. Everything looked as if people vanished in a single instant. Arsen felt it in his skin, the city wasn't abandoned, it was waiting. For someone. For him. He entered the school where his mother used to work. Broken chairs, papers across the floor. But in one classroom, everything was neatly arranged, as if a lesson had just ended. And on the chalkboard, fresh writing. One word. Welcome. Arsen froze. Then, feeling a cold drop slide down his spine, he turned, and heard a small sound, light and precise. A tap on a desk. Once. Then again. And again. And again. The sound multiplied, filling the room. Every desk, every corner began echoing the same rhythmic tapping, as if the class had come alive to deliver a message. Arsen stepped back. Fear pressed against his ribs like cold metal, but he didn't run. He clenched his fists instead. Because he knew, this wasn't random. It wasn't the wind. It was deliberate. Something, or someone, wanted him to hear it. Suddenly, the tapping stopped. Complete silence. And a second later,